Okay. Hello, everyone. This is Dr. Garrett Smith, also known as the nutrition detective around these here YouTube parts. And we have a very special guest this week. It's not going to be live. For those of you who are here on Tuesday and you're wanting the show to be live, the show technically is going to be pre-recorded. We're putting this up because I had so much to do and Sara had a limited schedule. And so we wanted to do this. So what we have today, so we have the very special guest, Sara Viau, who is my EMF Solutions person. She is someone who I highly recommend for, EMF remediation and all of that stuff. I met her I don't know how many years ago now, probably 3 or 4.
Three.
Through my buddy Tyler Kumakura, who I met through the Love Your Liver program, and he introduced me to her, and he said I had a consult with her. It was great. She told me just what I needed, and I think you should talk to her. And I was like, sure. Or we talked and kind of hit it off. And then I got all the stuff at my house and I felt better. But the other thing, well, this is why I liked what you did was I just jumped in as usual, as I always do. I just dove in. And then I started having some of the detox stuff, which I wasn't sure where it was coming from. Back then, I didn't know about it. I get to learn about all these detox things as I do them because I just jump in. And then there was other stuff like where I was talking to her about, I got Julie one of the wristbands because I thought that would be the way to help Julie the most, started the smallest. And then Julie started having detox stuff. And then I talked to Sara and she's like, no, it was the absolute wrong thing to do. You shouldn't have started with that. And I went, oh, so before we get started, I really want to say that Sara knows these products really well that she works with. And she understands kind of a lot, she's in the Love Your Liver program, right?
I am.
And she likes what we do here. And it's just, she understands a lot of the concepts that we go by and how to start slow and how to work things in and how to not, kick your own butt by doing these things. And that was one of the things that really clicked for me with her when I first started talking to her. And when I first started having, my issues because I jump in too deep. So anyway, let's go into, so first, before I give Sara the floor, I wanted to go into, well, you guys know, I've done a whole show on EMF and EMF, how it relates to vitamin A toxicity, copper toxicity, iron overload. And recently we just did the big nickel show. And I have 3 papers that I hope to have time to go over today, linking nickel to electromagnetics. And it's a big deal because nickel is not, copper's conductive, iron's magnetic, nickel is both. So that's a really big deal. So anyway, so we're connecting these things of how we can hopefully reduce with the EMF solution stuff, we can reduce the impact on your body. And then we can reduce your body's reactivity to it, hopefully in the first place. And then we can be as happy and healthy as we can in this crazy world of ours that has been created all around us. So anyway, I think it's a really big deal. I have practically all the EMF Solutions pieces for my house. And it's just really important. And I think this is one of the biggest things that I talk about in the program, in the Love Your Liver program, about starting. Like, this is one of the early things you want to do is work on the EMF stuff. Because if you're really toxic, you can't get rid of the biochemical problems that you have going on right away, but you can do this. So what she came on here specifically to talk about was we were talking one day and she goes, oh, this new fiber optic cable thing and fiber optic internet is the next big wrinkle that we have to deal with. And it's growing in popularity. They're spreading it around. I know even up in Idaho, where I'm 20 minutes away from Kelsey's house, kind of out in the boonies, and they got a big billboard saying fiber optics coming. And I'm like, oh, after Sara said that, I was like, oh no, I don't know if that's good. But I wanted to just go over this for you guys. You Love Your Liver people and you other folks who follow us here. So Sara, let's kind of get into like, what's the big picture of what's going on with the fiber optic stuff?
Yeah. So right, the rollout of fiber optics, right? We're in the middle of the largest internet infrastructure upgrade in US history. So it's rapidly expanding, right? Into residential communities. A lot of people are like, yeah, I just saw fiber was installed down the street. Fiber was installed in between my house and the neighbor's house. There's, people knocking on my door selling fiber. So, what's going on? Is this a better solution? Is this a better option than standard? What do I do? So right, fiber cable demand alone, it's growing anywhere from 10 to 11% annually. So we're going to see this in such a large way. It's kind of like it's becoming the nervous system of the digital world, because there's just growing demands with what we're looking at, AI, more and more people, all of that, right? So in order to hold and have the capacity for all of that, here we are. Fiber is not just in commercial areas, it's in residential. And even if you opt out of it, it is several feet away from your home, and it is causing some environmental stress. So yeah.
Right next door, right? We got to feed the AI beast, as they
say. Right.
Got to give it all the data it can eat.
Mm-hmm.
I just wanted to say before we get into this, like, most of us who are EMF like aware,
yes,
we like hardlining. Like, we think, this is kind of a hard line, and we go, hard lines are good, aren't they? And then now we're getting into this. So you were talking about the forces driving all the various, like, internet, cellular, the forces driving it. Do you want to talk any more about that?
Right. So 5G, it needs fiber behind the scenes. Right. AI data centers, there's massive amounts of data that, transfer, and expect that demand. And then all of the smart everything that we have in our home, right? All of that. So right. With all of that demand, we need more capacity to be able to hold that. So right. Any kind of speed that we're looking for too, because that's just it. It's the velocity. It's the impact that it's having. So it's not just in a nearby neighborhood. I mean, it's getting installed in between these homes, right on property lines, with little to no consent or, agreeing to doing so. So yeah, it's here.
Yeah, it's really, like you were saying, kind of the like the idea of it becoming kind of the nervous system,
right,
of this. And this is just a thought of mine, because I have these thoughts on occasion. And one of them was that, okay, so God is omniscient, omnipresent, everywhere at once, sees everything, hears everything, all that stuff. And then we talk about, let's say, the bad guy. And he is not that.
mm-hmm.
He cannot see everything, hear everything, have all of this coming in at once. So then when I thought about it, I was like, well, if this bad guy wanted to have all this, well, he could create his own nervous system that then has cameras everywhere, mm-hmm. and microphones everywhere, and mm-hmm. inputs coming from everywhere. And then AI is there to be the brain and parse all of that information, mm-hmm. and then spit it out in some manageable amount for the big bad guy to mm-hmm. take in. So it all makes sense that all the data, like, to be as close to omniscient and omnipresent as possible, you would have to have the more data, mm-hmm. the more you can get in. So that's just an aside in terms of, like, where is this leading, or why is this all happening? So then go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh no, I was just saying, very valid. Yeah.
So, okay. So we wanted to, well, you were talking about, kind of like the balance of it. 'Cause I mean, you were saying, one of the things I caught was you were saying we need this. And I thought it was funny. Like, yes, the technology people and all of that need it, right? Do humans need it? No, we could be fine without a computer ever. Right. So, so what does the fiber bring us? Like, what is it really helping the most with?
I would say, yeah, the speed in which we receive information, and the capacity, the amount. And so, right, a lot of people will ask me like, "Hey, is fiber the better option? I've been given this option,
Yeah.
and I don't know what to do because, right, we have our standard cable connection, 5G or fiber, and hey, it's cheaper. It's like $20 to $30 cheaper a month. So, I mean, I'm kind of leaning towards this direction, and right, I look online and there's no evidence that there's more EMF. Well, right, because we're working with light pulses. It's
Right.
quite different, but what it's connected to, right, what it demands is connection to, let's say, like all of the routers, right. And so we're looking at then dispersion of what is the demand in the overall environment. So it's not so much that we're honing in on fiber optic and it being, not good, bad, whatever. We're talking about everything else outside of it, and that pool to to allow it to be. That's what we're talking about. And that extra amount of environmental stress is, again, just several feet away from us. Something else I find interesting, and this is all quite new too, like we're all learning about fiber optic in real time. We don't have a whole lot of information online to go off of. These are like real life experiences. These are pre-existing customers, or people who are in the field, and they're like, this is what I've observed. These are the things I'm observing. Like, what's going on? So we're using that, we're working with that. We are all being so humbled, and we, meaning like some of the EMF specialists here with EMF Solutions. We actually, for some time, we were getting together. Corey Hillis, the president of the company, had us meet one to two times a week to discuss what we were observing and what was going on and the findings for almost 2 months straight, because it was changing so fast. And we had so many people calling in asking like, hey, everything was fine. And then all of a sudden fiber came into the neighborhood and my world was flipped upside down. I can't sleep. They're mentioning all these different things. And I'm just like, okay. so right. It's been a collective, a lot of feedback, and trying to figure out what can we do, because that's just it, right? What kind of solutions can we come up with? What do we need to know so we can be informed, make the best decision, be prepared, in a really diligent way. So that's kind of where we're at, because like it or not, like it's it's here. Right.
Well,
Yeah.
I was thinking about what you were saying about like the increased information just going across, like even if just the fiber optic, if the fiber optic itself
Mhm.
was totally okay,
Mm.
if it was carrying just that much more information, then probably, as this is my assumption, is that the power of everything, that like the routers and the 5G and all that stuff, they're going to have to crank that up just to handle all the increased information
Exactly.
that's on there. I
Exactly.
went, oh, so yeah, even if so maybe the fiber is okay, maybe it's not, but what it's doing definitely makes sense that would increase.
Exactly.
So
Exactly. You got it. Yep. That's what we're finding. So right, it's like, okay, more material. We need more, because it's like a justice scale. The more EMF that we have in the environment, or environmental stress due to the EMF, the more property that we need to bring in to balance the scales. Otherwise, we're really not going to see the right results or outcome, from it. So, yeah.
actually, I think that was one of the things when I first talked to you that made me convinced that you guys were doing the right thing, because I had one of those stickers that, the EMF things that went on the back of my phone. And I learned about it from a client of mine who said when she got it back in the day, she said she used to get like neuropathy in her fingers from typing on her keyboard.
Mm-hmm.
And she said, I got their thing, I put it on my laptop, boom, it was gone. And I was like, okay, I'll try it. And I got it and I felt better. And I felt like my phone wasn't as hot on my ear, which is another easy test of this stuff. You know, which kind of doesn't make sense, but I guess it makes sense. But anyway,
Yeah.
so then when I talked to you, and I had kind of come to the conclusion myself that whatever I had on my phone wasn't working as well as it used to.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I talked to you and you were like, yeah, we're having to put more stuff in it because the power in the problem is getting bigger. And I went, it is like, so that was one of the things that really convinced me that like you guys were onto something and you were doing the right things. Cause I was like, and then I tried it and it worked again.
Awesome. Yeah.
And so that was really cool. So I really appreciated that.
That's awesome.
So a lot of people, we've got people who have know nothing about kind of EMF, and then we've got probably some experts in the Love Your Liver realm. So what are some of the like simple supportive practices that people can do around EMF minimizing, remediation, all that stuff?
Yeah. So, part of what I offer to the Love Your Liver members is a free consultation, because my goal is to inform. I want to educate. I want people to have the information that they need to make a decision that allows them to feel safe and also empowered in their environment, because there's a lot that we can't control or that we can't change. And so it's like, okay, what can we do? Right. So within that consultation, we kind of go over sources of EMF toxicity in the home. And, part of when someone reaches out locally and I'm able to actually go to their home or their business, place of business, I bring my meters, I bring the radio frequency meter, electric, magnetic, right, field meters, and test and measure. And I show them based on Building Biology Institute, what their baseline, right, of quote unquote safe exposure is, or moderate severe. And so that kind of serves as an educational piece. These products don't block or shield. And so there is a place for blocking and shielding. And then there's some circumstances where it's not practical, right? We could absolutely have a beautiful like Faraday bag, put our phone in it, block it entirely. But when we go to use it, now what, right? So that's kind of where these solutions come into play. And so, right, we kind of go over those sources, what's creating electric field, magnetic field, radio frequency, what's creating just several of them, maybe all of them, what are the levels that are coming off? Some are so minor that the, like reverb is kind of the word I use, that comes off of the EMF wave itself is so minor that it dissipates into, solid material around the home, right? So if it's like sheetrock or if it's, CBS or brick that we have in the home, great, it dissipates. But then there's other sources like a Wi-Fi router. That's probably the most common, example. It's creating radio frequency, electric field, and magnetic field, and it's nonstop. Its job is to send and receive information nonstop. So for areas like that, like, right, can we hardwire? Absolutely. That's great. If we can hardwire, that's fantastic. In the same, a lot of routers don't have any kind of capacity to turn off the radio frequency. So maybe we have our laptop hardwired. Great. We're kind of reducing the overall impact of RF, but it's still sending a signal to our cell phone, to our, smart home devices. So there's still that amount of exposure. And so like, okay, what do we do about that? Again, that's kind of where this comes in. Right. So there are some really practical ways to eliminate or mitigate EMFs. And then for all the other examples, right, then we look to these products. Okay, what can we do to provide that remediation? And this company isn't focused on the EMF wave itself. It is what the EMF wave creates once it goes into our environment. It's like the reverberation that it creates, kind of similar to a drum, right? We're not worried about the drum. We're worried about the sound that the drum makes when it gets hit and sent out. And what are we going to do once that disperses? We want to remediate that sound, that reverb from it, because that's what, stresses us out. So yeah. Yeah, beautiful, beautiful way to go about it. Something that comes up quite often is, a lot of people are like, wait, I have my cell phone next to my bed. I put it on airplane mode, so I'm good. Okay, you have it next to your bed. How many feet away? Like more like inches, Sarah. Okay, so inches, got it. Is it plugged in? Yeah, of course. I use my phone all day. I want to charge it at night while I sleep. Okay, so you don't have RF, but hey, your phone has a battery in it. It's plugged into the wall, pulling voltage. Let's get our meter out. It is insane. That block that you plug into the receptacle, it is pulling so much electric field. And then the phone itself, right? Magnetic field, it's charging the battery. So yeah, maybe the RF is better, but we have magnetic field, electric field. So it's like, you just like, I can almost like see the light bulb, turn on it. And people are like, so wait, I should probably charge that like during the day in a completely different room, far away from me. And I'm like, yes, that part. Yeah. So, we go over stuff like that, just like things that maybe just don't cross our mind because the awareness piece isn't there. And it's like, right, I want everyone to have that awareness piece. What can we do for ourselves? So, yeah.
Yeah. So, well, yeah, one of the things I did recently was, because I started, my daughter, I had been doing the airplane mode thing at night. And actually I did airplane mode and I turned it off. And I still felt a little like I'm just very sus of all of it.
Yeah.
So I still kept it pretty far away from my bed. But then one night I think it was after I'd gone to bed, and my kids know that they can call my brother or my mom if they need, because I just shut down my phone, right? And they tend to keep theirs on.
Yeah.
And we had a late night problem with a tire, and all of a sudden I was like, I can't sleep with my phone completely off anymore. So Kelsey told me about turning off the mobile data. So like the phone's not constantly sending crap back and forth. So at least it's reducing the signal that way,
Sure.
but I can still get calls.
Yeah.
And so I still keep it like, I don't know, 10 feet away from my bed so I can still hear it. But I didn't ever want to do that, but I was like, you know what? Until my kids are out of the house or on their own, like
Right.
you got to do it. You got to be, I got to be a good dad,
Yeah.
but stuff. So, but you were talking about some other things like, the tech free times or tech free spaces.
Okay. Yep. So right, like being able to, eliminate, right? Is that what you're referring to? Like just eliminate some of the items. A lot of people, will have, all these new pieces of technology and they're like, I guess I don't technically need any of those things. Something like a sound machine, right? An alarm clock, like an old school alarm clock. If you get the meter out, those those are over, those are severe levels that we're exposed to.
Have you noticed the thing I hate is in the hotels?
Oh,
they've boarded up all the alarm clocks so you can't unplug them.
Yeah, can't unplug them.
You can't unplug the TV, which has got probably Wi-Fi on it. And I'm like,
right.
I hate this now. I really hate this because, I still take my EMF Solutions, like the room thing that I can, put in the wall. I still take all that stuff, but
perfect.
I'm just like, they're trying to fry us. They're literally trying to fry us.
Yeah. I was just oh, go ahead.
No, I was just thinking like, it's not a big deal for, let's say, a housekeeper to plug back in the alarm clock, but they're literally boarding it up so you can't get to it. And anyway,
right.
Go ahead.
And
Go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, and we're in such close proximity to all of that too, so yeah, proximity can be our friend as well. That's huge, right? Sometimes we don't need a certain item right next to us. We just are kind of like, sure, why not? And then you become educated and informed and you're like, yeah, no, we're going to put that on the other end of the house where nobody's sleeping, nobody really hangs out, right? So here's a good example is an air purifier. The oscillating motor creates magnetic field, and then we also have electric field to powerhouse it. And most people with good intention are like, I'm going to have that right next to my bedside or my kid's bedside. I want to breathe in the best air. Okay, grab your meter and measure it, right? And the faster that you have it running, and it should be, right, the function of an air purifier is that it is on all the time. And you're getting severe, not moderate, severe levels of exposure, magnetic field, electric field from that air purifier alone. So, some people are like really just like, well, what do I do? Proximity, A, and B, if you want it anywhere close to your sleeping quarters, right? Put a device chip on it, right? Because we want to try and provide the most, balanced, neutral state, in these, especially in these sleeping quarters as possible. So yeah, proximity is our friend, one of our best friends.
Well, now you just made me think, because we have two air purifiers in my house, and they both have device chips on them already.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Except, me being like, I don't know, pragmatic, I was like, okay, so we got one on this end of the house and one on the other end of the house, and the other end of the house just happens to be my bedroom.
Ooh.
And I'm going, okay. Honestly, now I'm going, I don't care if I put them both in the same room.
Sure. Or a hallway, something.
Right. Furthest away from everybody's beds.
Exactly.
And my boy loves his white noise machine, and he's like across the hall from me, and I'm like, I don't need it. I don't want it.
Exactly.
But he sleeps better with it. Mm-hmm. He's kind of hypersensitive to sound.
Okay.
So he's hypersensitive. So he likes to cover it all up with the white noise. And I'm just like, okay, I'd rather not have that sound all over the house at night, but whatever.
Yeah.
So I wanted to ask you, so you had one more thing about observing how the environments feel. Can you explain that more?
Ooh. So yeah, for those of us who are canaries in a coal mine, it's a blessing and a curse.
Yes, it is.
I'm a canary. Unfortunately. No, I use it to the benefit. So right. It's I personally feel, right, like a lot of stimulus, a lot of just like background noise, kind of similar to like going to a concert. If you're in the right spot and you're listening to the music and the speakers are in like, just so, you can hear the sound really well. There's no feedback. There's no reverb that you physically feel with the body. I'm like, basically, when it comes to EMFs, like I'm standing right next to the speaker, so I can't hear the music clearly. I'm just feeling this intensity going on. Right. So for me, it was just so profound when I found these products. So just as a customer, once I remediated my space, it was kind of like this static electricity feeling, this like vibration in my body, just calm. It was like a silence, like a dampener had been put right on the speaker. And I was like, okay, no longer having that background noise. It's also kind of like, if we're in the house and there's a car outside and the car alarm is going off, like, you're like, that's annoying. That's disruptive. Like, I hope whoever's car that is, they turn that off. Well, imagine it not going off. Like, yeah, we could kind of get used to it, but we're going to continue to hear it. And it's going to be an irritant, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so, right, like when we address EMFs in the right way, it's like someone's turning off that car alarm. Now we can like, okay, now we can focus. We can we can just be more honed in on whatever the task is without that stimulus interrupting. So yeah.
I saw a reel the other day where the guy was talking about like the background hum of everything.
Yes.
That we have. And he said, just like when the power goes out.
Yeah.
He said, do you notice how quiet it gets? It's like painfully quiet because you're so used to having all this stuff going on in the background. And I was like,
right.
Yeah. I mean, we don't have it as much. I'm kind of sensitive to that kind of stuff. So I tend to things that run a lot, like computer fans or other things like that. I'm like, get rid of this crap. I don't want it. I don't want the hum.
Right.
And,
yeah. Sound
toxicity,
hum toxicity, right?
I get a rental car. I'm turning off the Bluetooth in it. I'm turning off the Wi-Fi in it. I'm just going, how do I turn off all this crap?
Right.
And if I could turn off all the beeps, that would be great. But the beeps are just not going to go away.
Yeah.
So, okay. So now that we've been over all this stuff, why don't you go over how does EMF Solutions kind of like bridge the gap for all of this? What is the goal, and how is it helpful and practical in all of our lives?
Yeah. So yeah, with this this stimulus in the environment, right? Being able to remediate it with the EMF Solutions products, which uses paramagnetic material, it creates that dampener on that reverb, right? And so we're no longer experiencing that chaos that is going on from the EMF wave, whether that's radio frequency or electric field, magnetic fields, right? Or any of the pulses, right? From fiber. So by creating that, we are bringing back into balance so that the body can once again focus and reach that state of balance. It's so yeah, I mean, just it's everywhere. It is absolutely everywhere. So being able to actually apply these products to whatever is creating that chaos is how the company addresses it. You know, it's not like in the field, it's like right on top, right? So like, as you know, the cell chip for the phone, we
Mhm.
put the product, you know, right on the back, right here, right where the battery is, right where all the processor is, like, you know, and in that way it's able to address it, and it's able to address it consistently, because you know, if you know how paramagnetic products work, or paramagnetic works, it has to be right on whatever is creating that chaos. So right, it's bringing into alignment, into balance once the item is placed on, you know, the piece of technology that's kind of creating that chaos. Yeah.
I have 2 of them on my phone.
Oh, good for you. Some of them need that. Yeah, they do. Depending on the processor of the phone, right? There's different technology within the phone that include magnets. Sometimes the material, like the metal that it's made out of, it is all so different. And so it's not, yeah, there's no like cookie cutter, like 1 + 1 is 2. Like it really is a case by case situation. And that has to go with people too, you know, like what works for, you know, Susie isn't going to work for Joe, you know, because of so many different factors. But right, that it's like you said, like what are you experiencing and what are you feeling after you apply the products? And sometimes it's like it's better, but there's still something. It's like, okay, we need to add more material because for whatever reason, you know, maybe it's dirty electricity. You know, that could be a thing too. Maybe it's eliminating, you know, disconnecting something or getting rid of something to kind of, we want to bring that overall noise down,
Yep.
right? And so when we get it right, the body feels at ease and it can reach, you know, parasympathetic in such a beautiful way without that external stimulus just kind of causing almost like a threat, you know, to
Yep.
the system. So yeah.
So, can you explain that paramagnetic concept a bit more
Yeah.
to us?
Yeah. So like the definition of paramagnetic.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's material that is subtly attracted to a magnetic field. So when it's in the presence of magnetic field, electric field, radio frequency, it it's able to attach to that magnetic field and bring into alignment that field so that it's no longer screaming, right? It's kind of like if we have a whole bunch of bouncy balls, right? Or if we're trying to group something, we're able to actually do so and keep it contained within that one little area instead of you know, it going all over the place. So right, it's how it impacts the magnetic field, and that's why it's so important to apply them right on the area in which is creating this type of toxicity. So yeah.
Awesome. So
Yeah.
then, so yeah, I did want to emphasize one point because I know when I first got into the EMF stuff,
Hmm.
it was all about shielding and blocking, right? Like you were saying there, or there's
Yeah.
distance and there's
Yes.
shielding and then there's blocking. And I remember not knowing what I was doing.
Hmm.
I literally put up a bunch of aluminum foil behind the headboard of my bed.
Oh,
I
okay.
thought I was going to block it. And that was some of the worst sleep I ever got.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. It can get pretty tricky because the question becomes, are we trapping ourselves
Yes.
in a space with this reverb? So it's like instead of it now dissipating, it's just bouncing off the walls and growing in momentum and synergy. And now we, the living organism, are absorbing it, unfortunately. Our animals, right? Plants, right. So in order for things to be beneficial when it comes to blocking and shielding, I mean, it's an art. It really is an art because nowadays we have so many different areas of the home that are creating these these sources of EMF. And so unless it's done like quite literally perfectly, we're just kind of trapping ourselves in this environment with this chaos, with this reverb. Like there's nowhere for it to dissipate, really. It just kind of just bounces off. I mean, it does, it dissipates into us, right?
Yeah.
So right. Yeah. Yeah.
There was somebody I know who's in the program who also does consults with you, who was
Okay.
telling me, I don't want to say their name, but they were saying that they're in the RV life.
Ah.
And
Ah.
you probably know who I'm talking about, right?
Well,
Or is it
maybe.
multiple people?
Well, no, I say that because I think I've had the most challenging cases I have had are people who are traveling in RVs, campers. Oh man, that is a whole thing. Right. Because people who are typically on the road are using one very specific provider for
Yes.
for their connection.
The
And
satellite provider that goes on the top.
yes,
Yes.
that one, yes. And right, I mean, no cell tower needed, just low orbit satellite. So we're talking large amounts of environmental stress, and we're talking a lot of metal, right?
Yes. Yeah,
Think
they're in
about
a
this.
metal box. They're literally in a metal box.
Right, right. Batteries that are in the unit. I tested I tested a very specific trailer that a lot of people are very into, and so I was measuring this basically metal Twinkie. And where were they sleeping? They were sleeping right on top of the circuit breaker for the entire unit. And where are they staying? They're staying in Florida. It is not cold here. It is hot, which meant that it was that unit needed to be, powered to provide AC. So now I'm measuring, the circuit box, breaker box that is, literally a few inches from where the whole entire family slept at night, where they ate their breakfast and sat, on the bench. That's where the batteries were located, and right behind them was the hookup to the smart meter,
Mm.
right? Yeah, and when they stood up to cook their breakfast, go about their day inside that unit, the main area for the AC, that line was, maybe about few inches from their head, and completely it was creating enormous amounts of magnetic field, electric field. So it's like, right, with all of this stimulus, the body's gonna go like, what's going on here? Like, this is so overstimulating. Like, I don't know. Right. So lots of sources
Yeah.
in those small spaces. Yeah, those are difficult cases for sure.
Well, so can you touch on, are these products the commonly talked about Shungite or orgonite? And can you talk a little bit about those?
Yeah. So can I talk about it? Yes and no. So Shungite, right, is it does have paramagnetic material. It is not that. Having EMF Solutions products there's multiple earth-based materials. So although they're proprietary. There's 4 materials, and when they're in combination with each other, and with the type of consistency that they are, it's that the blend that works together that creates a sustainable solution, an optimal solution. Is it orgonite? So orgonite is typically made of resin, and metals, right? And quartz. It's not that. Yeah, these are not organites. So right, because I mean, the average person can like hop online, and for, I don't know, $15 total, they can, have their piece of Shungite. Well, by the time you have enough Shungite for your Wi-Fi router alone, I mean, it's going to cover your whole entertainment center. A lot of material is needed, is my point, right? So these very specifically, there's a combination of materials that when they are together, when they work together, are able to subtly attract to magnetic fields that it is placed upon. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I think we got to wrap it up here.
Okay.
So was there anything else you wanted to cover? Like, any closing ideas that you wanted to cover before we go?
Maybe in the future we can talk about grounding. That's
grounding, yeah.
Yeah, that's super. Yeah, like in the future we can kind of discuss that. That is a huge topic. Well, I ground, so isn't that the same?
Yes.
Well, yeah, we can.
I don't mean yes, it's the same. I didn't mean to say that. No, it's not.
No.
I don't think it is the same myself.
No. Yeah. So yeah, maybe we can discuss that in the future, but as something else that is commonly spoken upon. So
cool.
Yeah,
I would love to go over that. So let's go over. So for the folks listening, if you want to, well, you do free consults, correct?
I do.
About their
Yes.
situation. Yes.
Yes. Uh-huh.
And then if you use my code at your site, or if they do the consult with you and they let you know that I sent you over here, or this live podcast sent you, I guess it's a podcast today, because we're pre-recorded. But yeah, the DR Smith 7, that code, right? All caps.
Yes. Yeah, it doesn't matter if it's all caps or not. And it could be used whether you do a free consultation or if you just hop on the website. Yeah. And
cool. And the products have descriptions of how they're used, right? So if somebody just wanted to go and get their own, yes. I highly suggest doing the consult with Sara, so you know which. So for those of you out there who, folks who have done like Love Your Liver stuff, and you've done the detox stuff, and I talked to you about slowing down and like backing off and doing all this stuff. If you want to start it right, like literally, if you jump in the deep end with this, you could not feel good, because here's my impression of what it does. You guys have heard me talk about, like, when people go on a trip, they finish their work, or they finish studying for their test, and all their stress is gone, and then they go on a trip, or they're just relaxing, and then they get sick, right? Because all the stress was removed suddenly, and then their body starts kicking out all this garbage. Well, think about the EMF as a stress, and you suddenly remove it all. And then everything starts happening. So it's almost exactly the same. Yeah. So Sara's great with knowing which things to start with, and then which to add next. And if you're having issues, then I'm sure she'd love to hear from you, so she can help tweak
Absolutely.
that. So I just, I think Sara's great. And, I'm happy she's in the Love Your Liver program and offering all this stuff to you guys. And I think, well, actually, I didn't get to go over the little nickel and EMF stuff. So maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll do that real quick. So
yeah.
Okay, this is crazy, folks. I just found this stuff today. So look at this paper: effective radio frequency EMF from mobile phones on the nickel release from orthodontic brackets. Like they just, so this is in vitro, so it's a petri dish, right? But they just put it by, phone EMF, and they did artificial saliva, right? Look at this. The average nickel levels in the exposed and non-exposed groups was 11.9 in the exposed, right, to the EMF, and 2.89 in the unexposed. So there was like 4 times as much nickel in the synthetic saliva, the artificial saliva from a phone. And where do you use your phone, right?
Exactly.
So here we'll go. Exposure to RF EMFs emitted from mobile phones can lead to human exposure to higher levels of nickel in saliva in patients with orthodontic appliances, as nickel exposure can lead to allergic reaction in humans. And considering this point that about 10 to 20% of the population can be hypersensitive to nickel, further studies are needed to evaluate the effects of radio frequency. Okay, so that was the petri dish, right?
Mm-hmm.
So then we go, what about real people? Well, first, I want to extend this to, this is not just braces, folks. Like, I mean, think about your cooking. You know, you're cooking on a smart stove. You're cooking, you know, your smart microwave. If you even chose to use one, I can't believe anybody would still use that crap. But anyway, like you got all your smart things in the kitchen, and they're stainless steel, right? Does that increase the leaching? Because that's what the EMF did. The EMF literally increased the leaching from the same thing in the artificial saliva in that paper. So now we have mobile phone release on metal ion release from fixed orthodontic appliances. What do we see? The linear regression test showed a significant relationship between mobile phone usage time and nickel release. So the more people use their phones, the more nickel was released from their orthodontics. Okay. And then the last, did I not share I'm sorry, Joe, I didn't share my screen. Here we go. So this is the second study. Did I not share the first one? Anyway, this was the first one. If I didn't share it, shoot. If I didn't, sorry, guys. This is the first paper. This was in the in vitro. This is the second one. Hold on, Joe. Let me bring you up so I can see you. I showed the first one. Good. Okay. And then we'll do the last one. This I just thought was really interesting, considering there's all those folks out there talking about what are they talking about? Not the graphite, but what's the carbon stuff that they're talking about? Why am I not remembering it right now? Are we talking about all the carbon stuff that's getting put into people through the graphene oxide? So I just thought this was really interesting. As they say, excellent electromagnetic absorption capability of a nickel and carbon-based conductive and magnetic foam synthesized via green 1-PA route. Do I know what this all means in terms of a human body? No. Do I think that us absorbing more EMF would be a good idea if we had a bunch of carbon-based, let's say graphene and nickel in us? I don't think that would be good. So these were just some connections between the nickel stuff. If you haven't seen my my copper and iron and vitamin A EMF stuff, EMF live stream, that I forget what number that is, but I would watch that one. So yeah, that's all. I just wanted to go over those 3 things about the new nickel stuff, showing that EMF literally increases nickel release. So think about it. If you have a nickel problem, this is what I'm talking about, EMF sensitivity, right? So, I mean, you can make yourself more EMF sensitive. And you can make yourself less EMF sensitive. It doesn't mean it's not going to affect you. It just means you can affect how much it affects you. And this was what I was looking for. And so if you have, let's say, orthodontics, or you have stainless steel pins, screws, and you're around a bunch of EMF, it's going to be theoretically worse. So the stuff I'm finding on nickel is crazy, folks. It's really... I was just talking to Sarah and Joe about a new thing I found just today about it that could just blow people's minds. And I'm not going to go over it today, but we'll go over it in the future. So, okay. So Sarah, do you have anything you want to wrap up with before I head into my links?
Nothing that comes to my mind. No, thank you though. Yeah.
Cool. Well, thank you very much for coming on. I really appreciate it. And I really appreciate how you've helped the Love Your Liver community over the years. Yeah. And yeah, that's just really. Oh, Joe, did you have her link, Joe? Can you put her link up there? Do you have it? If you don't, you can just say so. But otherwise, folks, there it is. Mind Body Balance FL as in Florida.com. And the code is DRSmith7, whether it's capitalized or not, doesn't matter. So, and you can also do a consult with her to find out what to get. And if you, okay, so if you look at some of the, this is one of the things I really appreciate about her doing that, is if you look at some of the things and you go, I can't get all of it right now. I can't get everything for my house right now. She will give you an order of importance, just like I do in the program. See, it's like the same kind of thing. So
absolutely.
That's why I really vibed with her.
Yeah.
She does things, a lot of the same methodology kind of approach that I do. So
yeah. And no question is a bad question or right. I want the questions. I want the challenges. Ask me, if you're thinking, well, what about this? What about that? Ask me. I am happy to explore that, figure it out, or answer those questions for you. Again, my primary goal is that you're informed and educated and that you have the resources to make the decisions that you want to make. Because there's a lot that is out of our control. So what can we do? Right? That's the primary goal. So it's all welcomed. Yeah.
Awesome. So you guys, you'll have the we'll post the links in the live chat when this airs. We've got the links in the info box below for Sara, and then we'll pin it as a comment so that you guys can find it real easy. So that's Sara Viau, and then I'm Dr. Garrett Smith, the nutrition detective of nutritiondetective.com, and we will see you guys next week. Thanks for coming.
Thank you, Dr. Smith.
You're welcome. Thank you.